name is Joseph Wooten, and you are watching J Ross TV.
What's up, y'all? This your boy J Ross, hanging out in St. Louis with my cat Joseph Wooten, y'all, in town, hitting with the Steve Miller Band tonight, y'all. We just riding around St. Louis, checking out some sights, and was talking to Joe, man, about musicians and being a man and just growth and what it instilled it into him. And he had some interesting conversations. I just wanted him to share it with you.
Well, yeah, I was telling J Ross that most of the time when you're talking to musicians and they're talking about success or the keys to success, especially, most of what people talk about are musical terms, like,
right?
You know, how to sing this way, or if you're playing, use this scale or this performance mode or whatever. But what people don't tell you enough of is that how you get through it has more to do with who you are than what you do. And what I mean by that is that in the music business, at some point, just like life, it's going to be tough. The music business is a tough business.
Right.
At some point, it's going to get tough. And at those tough times, you don't get through those tough times because you can sing and play. How well you sing, how well you play, how well you dance don't get you through tough times. What gets you through tough times is character. So my mother, especially my mother, my dad too, but my mother was always more concerned with who we were than how we played. Like, people would come up to my mother and say, "Aren't you so proud of all 5 of your boys? They're so talented." And she would say, "I'm not proud of them because they're talented." She said, "They've played their whole lives. Anybody who does something their whole lives ought to be good at it." She said that. She was very real about that one. She never blew us up because we could play well. She said, "Now, if you're coming to me and telling me that they inspired you in some way, or you're telling me that they helped you in some way, or if you're telling me how they're good people," she said, "I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that because that's what I worked hard for, is to create good people." She would tell us all the time. My mom would say, "What does the world need with one more good musician? We got plenty of good musicians, but we don't have enough good people."
Yeah.
And so from the beginning, the stuff that she would talk to us long about, I mean, long, involved, detailed conversations about life and character and integrity and self-importance and humility at the same time.
Right.
Like she would say, she told us on more than one occasion how her father used to say to them, "When you wake up in the morning and look in the mirror, you've seen the most important person you're going to meet that day, but you know better than anybody else."
Right.
Now that's a big lesson. That's a big lesson in much needed self-importance, but it's tempered by humility. You know, self-importance and humility should always be hand in hand. And my mother was that's what she always had in mind for us. That's what she talked to us long about. She didn't have long musical conversations with us,
right, because
we were doing the music on our own. But she knew that the music was a useful tool and the music was a way to be inspiring, and she and my dad always nurtured our music. But what she focused on was not, you know, my mother didn't make us practice. She didn't make us practice or any of that. She said, if you're going to do it, take it seriously. But she made sure that we were honest. Like, she didn't let us lie. She didn't let us fight. She was really a stickler for making sure that we didn't fight, because brothers shouldn't fight. She didn't let us, she made sure that we were always integral, that we were good people. She was very concerned that we wound up being good people who could control our tempers. Like when she talks about when we were little and having to give those whoopings, she said most of the time I was whooping y'all just to make you get rid of that temper. You know, like most people see Victor as the calmest person on the planet. She said Vic had one, well, and not she said, Vic did have one of the worst tempers. and she said as bad as Vic's temper was, Roy's was worse than that. Two of the calmest people you meet on the planet now.
Right.
But that was because my mother was smart enough to know that in music, as in life, as in anything, it's going to matter more who you are than what you do.
Yeah.
It's going to matter more who you are than how talented you are.
But let me ask you this, Joe.
Yeah.
Was your mom ever afraid for you guys, you know, growing up so young in the music business, that she thought it might swallow you up or something?
Well, that was why she worked so hard on our character. Because we started out young, and she knew that it was going to matter how important it was going to be that we knew who we were, so that we didn't get swallowed up.
Yeah.
Now, my dad fought in the Korean War, so he physically made sure we were safe. We would be, Victor and I were elementary school age. I mean, like, I'm talking, Victor was 6 and I'm 9, right? And we're on stage playing, so my dad would make sure that, you know, he was carrying the game changer just in case things got out of line. And my mom didn't really like that part of it, because, you know, she didn't like guns, but my dad knew that his kids needed to be safe. And we were safe, and we're still here, and we're still able to do some good things because of the both of them, both of their actions and both of their examples.
All right, fast forwarding up to now, as opposed to when you guys were coming up in the middle age years, not in the middle age years. What do you think about the music business now as opposed to yesteryear?
Well, I think the main difference in the music business now than when we were growing up. When we were growing up, the only way to get good music is if there were musicians playing real instruments in real time. Back in the early days of music, Gladys Knight and the Pips and Aretha and all of those, they didn't even have the opportunity to sing an overdub. So they were a certain level singer. That created a certain quality singer that didn't even have the chance to sing it again. So if there was going to be any greatness on a recording, they had to be great from start to finish. If there was going to be a great sounding recording, then it was going to have to be great musicians and a producer that knew where to put those microphones to capture that great performance. Well, nowadays, we've come to the point where the gear can do a lot of that for us. Like back in the day, if there was going to be a big giant sounding kick drum, there needed to be an engineer that knew where to put the mic and what devices to use to get that big giant kick drum. Well, actually, in the beginning, there were no devices. Well, nowadays, you pull your computer out, there's a file with 250, 5-foot wide, 10-foot tall kick drums. The gear does a lot for us. You can play and have just enough groove to fix the timing with the computer.
Right.
You can sing it and have the computer fix the pitch. I can take a sample, and if you had a groove 30 years ago, I just take a digital picture of your groove, loop it, and speak over it, and now I got a rap song. It's changed. The music business has changed in that the gear will do a lot of the work for us. It doesn't mean that people aren't talented now. There are still talented people, but you can get the gear to do a lot of the work that used to not be available.
Yeah. Last question, Joe, because I know you got to get to that bus. Hey, Joe, like, where did your creativity come from? I mean, I know you got a plethora in your library of knowledge, music, but where did your creativity come in and make you do what you do? Or play it a certain way, or add a certain chord, or certain note to just say that's a Joe Wooten?
Well, the hardest thing in life is to find out how to be yourself. And the older I get, the less I think about it. I just go up and play. And the thing that you work real hard at when you're young, you find out that you don't have any other choice when you get older. I don't have any other choice but to be me. So as I get older, I get more comfortable just going and doing it like I feel it, because nobody else is me except me.
Right.
What we have a tendency to do when we start quote unquote trying to do things, we do things the way that we've seen them done before. I have a natural tendency to play towards the things that I like about George Duke. You know what I mean? Like, I saw George Duke play. I was fortunate enough to see him play not long before he passed away, and a lot of his electric playing, I recognized it. I didn't realize how much I was trying to play like him, which is not a bad thing, because George Duke is a very good person to aspire to. So, to answer that question, as I get older, I just go up and try to do it like I feel it. I practice just to try to make sure that my hands can still do it, but I just go up and do what comes natural.
Well, second to the last question.
Okay.
You just mentioned something. Do you ever, do fear ever creep in about your hands? You know that that's your livelihood and everything?
Does fear ever creep in?
Yeah, you know, like one day I might not be able to do this and do that?
Not yet. 'Cause I'm 52, I'll be 53 in December. I feel better at 52 than I did at 42. I'm a stickler for nutrition and lifestyle, and I feel it paying off. So far, I don't have any fear of that because it seems to be improving. Now, if you ask me that the next time I'm in the loo and I got some aches and pains starting to creep in, I might give you a different answer.
Right.
But as of right now, I feel really good. I feel really clear. My life is in a good place. My kids are healthy. I have a career. People respect me, and you know, the important things seem to be in place.
Hey y'all, that's Joe Wooten, hanging out in St. Louis with your boy Jay Ross. He hitting the night, y'all, at the Verizon with the Steve Miller Band, y'all, along with Journey.
And Tower of Power, you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Tower of Power, man. Oh, what a group! What a group, and what a great group of guys. I've been really enjoying hanging with Tower of Power and Roger Smith.
Yeah.
If you don't know about Roger Smith on those keys, check him out.
All right, y'all, we're going to let them bounce. J Ross TV, 10 million strong. We gone. Peace. Thanks, Big Joe.
All right.